I mean, and in extension Africa. Who is Damola Daniels?
Well, Damola Daniel is a simple man born 53 years ago by two wonderful God-gifted parents, Mr. Daniel and Mrs. Daniel. Mr. Damola Daniel is married to a lovely woman called Henrietta Daniel and have two wonderful children, Sheila Daniel and Roy Daniel. And above all, I have a lovely family, extended family, and so on. Well, that is just a summary of who Daniel is.
Great to know. So let's come back home now. How did he emerge as the president of Nigerian curling here? I mean, because over time, yes, it's an old sport, no doubt. But how did you come about? I mean, being known in the world of curling now. You cannot mention curling in Nigeria and Africa without that name, Damola Daniels.
Actually, curling started in 2017 by the young lady I mentioned earlier, Sheila Daniel, who's my daughter. So she plays curling here in Germany. So at that time, she was age 12. Then she now asked us to, take the sport to Africa. But being that it was a passion, we followed it suit. So we now had to start the paperwork, everything that has to do with the legal part of the organization. And then, like we always say, the rest became history. And curling Nigeria was given back to, by extension now, Africa as a whole.
Now, how easy or difficult was it for you to sell the idea of curling to the sport ministers at that time? I think what happens to be Mr. Sonidari, and how easy was it for them to accept it and make it a federation?
Actually, it was pretty difficult because what they told us from the inception was it's not an African thing. That how can we say that we are a winter nation or an ice country without having snow and so on. This was our slogan then. I said, sir, the impossible takes a little longer. He said, I'll see how you guys will pull this through. But I think we've proven with time now that the impossible takes a little longer, and then we've pulled out the impossible to become possible. Having said that, they didn't give us the chance, neither did they believe in us that we could be the first African country to make this happen, or to even step on ice to play or to win matches. But look at it today. We are winning matches, even qualify the country for the Youth Winter Olympics. So at the tail end of his career, or as a tenure as an honorable minister, he said, in the presence of all federation presidents, all members of the executive board or the directors of Nigeria Sports Ministry, this is the sport that they should emulate. Nigerian curling, let me break it to you guys, being the first station to air it. The World Curling Federation has adopted floor curling now as an official discipline, official sport, which is going to go into the Olympics as second half of world curling.
That's
so
good.
We have the summer and the Olympics now, which is going to be the floor curling. So I think by his grace, I should be heading the African region as the Vice President Africa floor curling soon if they ratify everything. Then with that now, all the hard work we've been putting in, going across the country, teaching the young ones how to play curling, will now be paid back to them how to play the sport and then compete in it, and then go to Africa's, then from there to the world, then to the Olympics.
Yeah, that's lovely, and I'm happy that this is exclusively here on Atlantic Television Network. I'm so happy to hear this news, and we wish that all that you said will come to reality in no time. But let's look at the achievements, some of the competitions that your team have participated in, young lads, because when you look at achievement, you look at what have we achieved, what have we done from 2017 till now, before we look at what is to come. And then I went to your page and I saw where you boldly expressed that apart from football, you want to make curling a household name in Nigeria and beyond. With the activities you have done, do you think that you've been able to achieve that?
Well, we still have a long way to go because we haven't achieved anything. In spite of our success, our victory, we still have more work to be done. Now, let me expatiate on that. First and foremost, we want every kid in Nigeria to play curling. Now, I've just given you the good news that floor curling has been adopted by wall curling to be an official scoring sport, medal winning both in summer's Olympic, I think which they are working on. With that, it should now rival the likes of football that, they keep pumping money into, or the basketball of this world. Every child can easily use the mat and the rest play curling in their own room, either one room or flat or mansion. So we've laid out the plans now. It's going to work. I think we've just signed a contract. Nigerian Curling Federation has signed a contract with WCF in collaboration with my private company known as SRG Sports Management Limited. We've signed a contract, and then by next year we start rolling out all these plans, to have competition, floor curling competition. But we're going to be starting from schools because that is where the foundation lies in. So we're going to be starting from schools, from there to the university, and so on. Then you now see curling being played everywhere across Nigeria, by extension again Africa.
Beautiful idea, beautiful innovation, and I love the spirit. So tell us, how have you been able to how did you come about getting the right personnel? Because I mean, for you to function as a federation, you need team members, and I looked at your team members comprised of personnel from Nigeria and outside the shores of Nigeria. How did you come to getting these persons working with you? Because I know that funding is a challenge. How are they paid? And who? I don't want to go into funding majorly, but I just want to look at how far have you been able to get these right persons that have nurtured these ideas, built it with you, and then achieve this little you've said.
Rather say it is sheer determination by the board and management of Nigerian Curling. Meeting my very good friend TJ Ko when we started along, and as well thereafter some others like Charles Nemeth and also Scott Hill, Hilary Bishop, and this goes on. Like you said, you've seen them on the website. And these are men and women that have devoted their time, resources as well, into curling Nigeria. So I dock my cap for them. Those are the coaches, the technical crew, the director, development, youth director, technical, and the coaches. They've done tremendously well to see that curling Nigeria is growing, or also to put in their works to grow the sport. Back home as well, I had lots of staff, or I'm having staffs that are also dedicated to this cause. Because my private company, SRG Sports, there we have well over 50 staffs working with us. By extension, now some of them were recruited back to Nigerian curling because having gotten experience of our sports management and so on. There we formed the board, and then the constitution was drafted, everything. Then we had the election as well, ratified our constitution. It now become a full-fledged organization, even recognized as well by the CAC as well. So as under Part C, which we tend to do things legally, you understand. But coming back to the issue of the men and women that work with us, they are dedicated people back home and also here in diaspora as well. I cannot mention, the list goes on and on. And these are the people that put it all online for the motherland, both on and off work duty, both late in the night, early hours of the morning. They give it all, and that's why you see that all these are coming together and it's working. And also their family members as well, they've been terrific, and also mine as well. So in fact, we have a tremendous team of men and women, boys and girls that are putting it all to make this dream a reality, which is working now for the country.
So great to hear you. I mean, if you're just joining us, we are live with the the President Curling Federation of Nigeria, Mr. Damola Dana, and of course we are looking at his personality and everything around him. let me digress a little bit and let's come back to you as a person. What is your hobby? I mean, something that you love apart from coiling. What is that special thing that is that you are known for? You know, that you cherish so much.
God, God first.
Okay. Okay. Now, of course, we know that in terms of spirituality, it's very important that we look at God. But I'm looking at games. Games. You know, what other games do you familiarize? Okay. Which one?
Whoa. I would rather say I'm a sport-loving guy because I don't, discriminate about sport. Sport
Okay.
in general should work in the country. I've introduced lots of sports back to the country, which they are now growing. I'll give you an example again. The first time mentioning it on air. Now, I brought Strongest Man to Nigeria since 2010, and it
Okay.
has been growing.
Okay.
I brought Luge to Nigeria. We not only missed the youth winter Olympic qualification because of lack of ticket, they secured the visa, they did everything. We not only missed to qualify also for the youth winter Olympics. I brought in sport climbing to Nigeria. Also, they are about to go to South Africa to see if they can qualify for the summer sports. And the list goes on and on and on. Having done that, you see that I'm a sport-loving person. Now, all the presidents of those federations are putting in their best, their effort to make sure that the sport grows as well. Because I told them, look, bringing it into the country is not a tax anymore. It is your tax to make sure that this particular sport grows and become a name in Africa. And I think there are men and women of integrity, caliber, that they can, also reproduce what they've been doing individually on their own in their various field of endeavor. Having said that, I love sports. I breathe sport, I talk sport, because sport gave me the name. Sport brought me to the position I am today, and sport also is still a factor that can bring one from one level to the other. So I'm a sport-loving person. Apart from being a husband, father, and a loving person across the country, but sports is everything that I do.
No doubt, no doubt. Not many might have come in terms with your personality, but reading about you, getting to hear you in forums, and personal acquaintances with you shows that you are truly what you said you are, no doubt. But let's look at you as a person. Because I will come to the issue of funding of the federation. But what do you do? What do you do other than being a federation president?
Well, like I said, I run my private company known as SRG Sports Management as
Okay.
well, there and here and some other places as well.
Okay.
I started up when I was young playing football as well across the countries here in Europe to raise funds and the rest. I haven't done that. I think went to school, came back as well, came back home, lost some money, get back up on my foot and the rest, Like I said, the journey has been rough and good, tough as it is. I always use this slogan, still we rise. So it's not how well you're being booted down, but how fast you can get up and then start running and then start flying. That is just it. But I've said that the issue should be how well have you come to impact life to those back home using sports? So from what I've been earning from my own private company, SRG Sports Home and Abroad, as well, I've been pouring them back into what is now known as, you can say, Sport Empire or whatever you call it. You
Okay.
understand?
Okay.
So that's just my journey and how I've been, living.
Great to know that you are a business-oriented sports personality, truly, because some of the things you've achieved, not many would have gone down that way. I tell you for sure. And I will give you a reason. Now, let's come back to coiling. Your thing is more like, let's go coiling. I love that slogan. Let's go coiling. With all that your trajectories, why is it difficult for the sports ministry to fund coiling? And why is it that if they've approved coiling as a federation, Why is it that I asked Femi Balogun this question and he was giving me his own replies? But I want to hear from you now. Why is it that there is no budgetary allocation to your federation since the inception in 2017?
Let me pick the first question first, which you said, why is it difficult for curling to be funded by the ministry? Then the second one, why is it that there's no budgetary allocation? There are two questions packed in one.
Yes.
Now, it's all about being politically correct with some people, but to me, I don't feel that that's right. I don't like being politically correct, but I like making sense. Like Ben Murray Bruce will always say, it's just making common sense. Now, common sense, demands that everybody should know that the Ministry of Youth and Sport, as it was called before, now the Ministry of Sport Development, no matter the kind of sport that is being brought to their doorstep or their table, should be looked into critically and then help and give enabling environment for the sport to strive and grow. Basically, if the sport is making wave, and also if the sport is promoting the image of the country, those are the things they should be looking at, and then encourage that sport and give an enabling environment for that sport to be growing or strong. But back home in Nigeria, everybody wants to be politically correct. They are using the whole dossier, like I always say, whole syllabus, to run sport till this day, which now the counterparts or the rest of the world has gone beyond what they are doing now to, develop sport. Recently, I presented a proposal to the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport, Senator John Eno, to look into and then develop the third tier of education in Nigeria, which is known as sports school, like it is being done here in Europe, where I am basically in Germany.
Okay.
That proposal has been lying waste there, and I believe maybe he wants to, I don't know. Let me not say what is not right as of this moment. This would have been what it should have been looked into. This should have been what should be looked into, and then we can now start developing sport. Now, coming back to your question again, their own view is that because we are not directly under the supervision of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, that is why we cannot get funding from them. We cannot also be having so many benefits that we are supposed to get as a federation. But they forgot the fact that we've written to them in 2018, 2020 regarding this issue. Even recently, again, November 2023, we also sent in a letter. That goes to show that they didn't do the needful. They didn't do what is supposed to be done so that the federation can be regularized with them for us to have all this benefit. Aside from that, like I earlier mentioned, sports should be looked into in totality. It is, benefiting the country and promoting and projecting the image of Nigeria positively. We've done that. Nowhere on this surface of earth that curling sport is being played, you see Nigerian flag hanging in there. Just in recent events, the European Curling Championship that was held in November, if you go back to the footage from World Curling, you see Nigerian flag, the green and white flag hanging in there. And people are amazed each time they see Nigerian flag as an African nation being flown in a curling arena or any ice arena worldwide. That goes to show that we are projecting the image of the country positively. That should have allowed them from the ministry to look into it and said, oh, they've been doing excellently well for Africa. Because of Nigerian curling, Nigeria is known in so many countries that have not thought of an African country playing curling sport, but yet they don't do that. But we are recognized by Nigeria Olympic Committee, who's the custodian of the Olympic movement in any country. So I've done that. I don't see why they shouldn't have done that. In the recent issue concerning our youth Olympic qualification, a document as small as note verbal that we requested for the young Nigerians, to be able to obtain visas to go to Finland and hereby play as preparatory program towards the Youth Winter Olympic coming up in January, which is now 47 days to go. They didn't do that. They don't want to do that. But I must emphasize on this point. Should sport be run that way? And what they're telling me, the minister himself, my very good friend John Eno, which I'm going to still meet next week, I'm flying to Nigeria, told me that it is because we are not directly among the federation that is under them. This shouldn't be that. This should be an issue of Nigeria first, the green and white flag, as they've qualified. Again, I remember in 2018, the bobsled and skeleton team that qualified for the China Winter Olympics.
Yeah, I remember.
They funded them, no problem. They funded them. And they didn't mention that issue of them not being under them. They funded them to the fullest to the to the Senior Olympics. Now, coming to us now, I don't know the politics that they are playing with us, which is not right. They should have also considered that their name was formerly Minister of Youth and Sports, but now Minister of Sport Development. Are they willing to develop the sport for this young lad? And all the kids that are playing in this particular event are from age 11 to 16. This alone should have told them that no, it's all about youth development, that let's encourage and see what we can do for this youth. They didn't do that. Instead, they're still pointing out on the point that you are not registered with them, you are not under the federation, but we have submitted so many papers, which I can, if you want it on air when you're going on commercial, I'll, splash some on the air for you to see. You understand? So the truth be told, this is not how it's supposed to be. And now, I'll still give you a breaking news on air. Nigeria has finally pulled out because of some 25,000 euros for accommodation and feeding for these kids to go to Finland to go and play. I haven't bought their tickets. I haven't found another route to get them visas, which they refused giving a note for. We find another route to get the visas, but just to get the 25 or 26,000 euros to pay for accommodation, feeding, and ice time while in Finland to fine-tune our camping and our game towards the Youth Winter Olympics coming up in Gangwon in January, 47 days away from now. It's a shame for the motherland to pull up on, to pull this stunt on these kids. Truly is a shame. I haven't put in all the hard work. We bought all the equipment, the shoes, the jerseys, all sets of jerseys, everything we've done, the visas we've done, just to support us with 26,000 euros for these kids to fly out on Monday. They were supposed to fly out on Monday, but yet what happened? They pulled a canyon on us.
Okay, I mean it's kind of very emotional. Personally, I find it very difficult, believing. I mean, trying to believe that these lads will not be part of the Youth Winter Olympics. And for me, I think that
excuse me, they will be part of the Youth Winter Olympics. They will be part of the Winter Olympics.
Okay, that is the championship.
Yeah, they were supposed to travel on Monday.
Okay.
To Finland to go for training camp and to play a competition in order to fine-tune their preparation towards the Youth Winter Olympics because we don't have ice. Mind you, we qualified last year, December 2022. It's almost a year now. It's a year now. A year now. No camping, no training of any kind supported by them, nothing. And since then, I've been flying to the country every time, talking to them, meeting with them. Like I told you, what Darius said the last time he was leaving the office, they all had it. They all saw it. And the countries that qualified thereafter are all in training camp, rounding up their programs. But now, look at what is happening. But one thing is for sure, I know those kids, they put it all online. Like I've said in my previous interview, they are good. If they could secure a ticket, not just one slot, but 2 slots for Africa, mixed and mixed doubles. If they can do that for the country, I am hopeful that if we had been given this training camp opportunity, those kids would have won a medal for the country. And the first time in the history of an African nation to win an Olympic medal, either in the senior category or the junior category, this kid would have pulled it off all for the country. But the truth is that, and these kids are not Europe-based or American-based, they are all there in the country. These kids that have never seen ice before, neither have they lived outside the country before, and they could achieve that. Why couldn't they Why couldn't they, just look the other way around and say, okay, let's support these kids, let's give them the very best they want or the very best we can so that they can do it again for Africa. This is not all about even Nigeria alone, it's all about Africa. But it is what it is back home. Everybody wants to be politically correct.
No, that's a little bit challenge. I mean, very unfortunate there that the training camp that should be going from Monday has been aborted. But then, if this challenge persists, it wouldn't it be better to solve it once and for all? Now that you know that there is a challenge of funding, especially from the sports ministry. Aren't we going to see something like this coming up or rearing its ugly head in preparation for other competition? For the Guangguan competition now, I'm sure that you still have a way to go about it. But I'm thinking, what are you now doing, knowing that this is a challenge, the funding challenge, to ensure that when the youths qualify for subsequent competition, there should be preparatory ground for them and all that. What are you doing to ensure that these areas is well looked into? Because for this one now, looks like maybe the time, and even if you have done all you could, but what are the future activity or the future plans to ensure that this doesn't happen again?
Thank you for that interesting and wonderful question. We've been working tirelessly on this, trying to see that this shameful act will not reoccur or rise head. Since 2017, like we said, we've been the one funding the federation. There's never been an issue like this. Reason why you've seen this one coming up is because it is now a duty of the country to take it over. They don't say Nigeria. They don't say calling Nigeria alone now qualified. No, they say the NOC, meaning Nigeria Olympic Committee qualified. That means Nigeria qualified. So it's no longer Nigerian Curling Federation. Neither those kids, neither myself and my board qualified. It's country that qualified that is going to the Olympics. It's not an individual. But coming back to what you've just said now is that we've been writing so many letters now to see how we can partner with some companies as well to make this happen. When we train them back home in Nigeria, maybe 10, 20, 30 of them, we take them outside the country with the cooperation of those organizations, and then train them there and bring them back home again year in, year out, at least twice a year. We signed a cooperative agreement with Italy, Turkey, Canada, and South Korea. I think we just finished one again with another country. We're about finishing one again with another European country where we can be taking these kids out year in, year out to train and bring them back home. But it all boils down on the sponsorship from all these corporate bodies, if they will be willing to put a pen on a paper to have us sign this agreement. But on that same medium as well, I'm still using that medium as well to call on those who are watching the show or haven't watched the show before or still intending to watch the later part of this program should contact us, and let's sit down and see how we can have a mutual understanding and mutual benefit to each other so that this cannot reoccur again. But we still need corporate bodies to come into the sport. It's a beautiful sport. Like I said earlier on, I've signed a contract with the WCF, to have curling sport played across the Nigerian states, which we're going to be importing the equipment soon on our own. Then from there, those brands can be, seen on this equipment and the rest while they are playing to promote their brands and to give them mileage and visibility as well. And, kids are usually the dynamic set of growing species that once they see something, they imbibe that thing, they never let go. So these are the opportunities. They also can easily come in and then, have some mileage on that. Above all, we're still working on some corporate sponsorship as well to make it work. And again, we've set up a GoFundMe account that is there on our website, and also a pay stack saying support NCF. So all those ones are avenues that we are looking at, trying to raise funds to help these kids as well.
We're going to hear more, but for those joining us, this is our sports personality, and we're featuring live Damola Daniels, the man who is at the helm of affair of coiling in Nigeria. We're going to quick break now. When we come back, I will bring in our studio guests who will also talk about it and react to some of the things you've said. And then we'll continue to hear from Mr. Damola Daniel. This is Sports Personality on Atlantic Television Network. We're back after now.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
It's Christmas season! Hooray! A time to make merry with loved ones, a time to give thanks, and a time to be a blessing. May your holiday season be filled with joy, laughter, and beautiful moments. From all of us in Morrison Communications Limited, Wish 99.5 FM and Atlantic Television Network, we wish you a Merry Christmas full of amazing experiences. Cheers to a beautiful year end.
All right, welcome back. We're climaxing the program. It's still Sports Personality here on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, we have the privilege of hosting live the renowned coiling president of Nigeria, Mr. Damola Daniels, one man who in a short while has traversed the looks and crane of coiling, a sports known as coiling, sports play on ice. Mr. Damola Daniel, welcome back, and let's look at other areas of coiling. It's like a pet project still developing, and I know that those watching will be wondering. Some don't even know the sport coiling, but I'm sure from all that we have discussed so far, some are now educated on what coiling is truly about. Now, are you there with me?
The sport coiling. Yeah, I'm here. I'm on with you as well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Sport played on ice, whereby athletes take turn to throw rock at towards the center ring. So the stones that comes closer to the main center ring becomes the scoring spot, and then they ends a point towards the end of eight ends. So I haven't played 8 ends in a particular round. Then we will now determine who has the most points, and then those that have the most points wins.
Okay. So let's look at. I mean, in all, if you participate in a program or you qualify for a program like the Guangguang Championship, the Youth Championship, I'm sure those qualification comes with some chunk of money for qualifying. I mean, for the Olympics or the Winter Olympics and all that, there are money. If you qualify, there are money they give to the organizers, give to your federation to start up preparation, or to the sports ministry. Have you received any since you've been qualifying for these programs?
Please, one more time again, because I couldn't hear you well.
Okay, I'm saying that if you qualify for this championship, there should be some money the organizers will dole out to the qualifying team or to the sports ministry or to the country who have qualified to say, okay, welcome, thank you for participating. Have you received any fund in this regard for qualifying for the Winter Olympics or any of the championship you've so qualified?
that you are trying to talk about IOC funds that usually give to any team that qualifies for the Olympics.
Yes, yes.
Good. For now, I think we've not received any. I think the IOC usually gives funding to any team that qualifies for the Youth Winter Olympics towards that particular issue. Now we've qualified the country for 2 events, so we should be having money. You understand? We qualify for mix, we should get money for mix and mixed doubles, and also that means 2. We should be collecting 2 qualification money in mix and mixed doubles. But as it stands today now, we've not received any from them. I've written an official letter to NOC. Graciously, the Secretary General responded to me by saying, yes, there is something like that, or there is a qualification money given to any NOC that qualifies in such an event, but they've not received it yet. But as soon as they receive it, definitely they're going to pass it on to us. Let's hope that this is fulfilled, because I made the request so that that kind of money should have been used for this particular sad incident that occurred. So as of now, as it stands today, none. We've not received that particular IOC qualification money.
But have you confirmed if other countries have received? Because if those money are doled out, it should not be in privy. I mean, it should be privy to such donations or such grants.
Well, like what I do is I mind my own lane as a president of a federation. I wouldn't want to poke my nose into other countries' issue, because I'm the president of Nigerian Coiling. By extension, also a permanent representative there in the World Coiling as a voting member as well. So I mind some of the things I do. But one thing is for sure, being the first African nation to qualify, there is grant for that by IOC for that, or the qualification money, which I have officially written to NOC on that. Like I said, their response is that yes, there is, but they've not received it. If they received it, definitely they will transfer that to us. But I hope and I pray that they do the needful on that issue, so that we can be able to have that particular funding, to augment what we've already, spent money on. Like we bought all the equipment, all the jerseys, all the, ticket that I bought last time now, that we bought last time for the trip inland, that has been pulled out now, all on hard currency, is going to be, taxed, or we're going to be losing, if not all, more than half of the money is going to go without no refund. So all those things we need to augment in order to pursue the interests of the federation in the near future. So I hope they will do the needful, and I believe NOC to me is fair enough on our part. They've been giving us soft landing. I must commend them. I must really commend NOC. They've been giving us soft landing, but in this Olympics issue, well, let me leave it to the leadership of the NOC on this issue and see what they will pull out for us. But it was supposed to be their responsibility to get us the 26,000 euros we needed for the accommodation, and they are also still struggling for fundings. But NOC is lacking money because they get their fundings from the Ministry of Youth and Sport as well, which is not supposed to be. If you ask me, NOC was supposed to be an independent body on their own, getting the direct funding from the presidency direct, not from the Ministry of Youth and Sport, because it's an establishment established under their own separate entity and under IOC, not Ministry of Youth and Sport.
Okay.
So as it is now, it was supposed to be them submitting their budgetary allocation to the presidency, and then the presidency also now remit that or transmit that to the National Assembly each year for NOC to have their own fundings to run their own program, which is completely different from that of the Ministry of Sport. But as it is now, they are making it look as if NOC is under the IOC, Ministry of Youth and Sport, which is not. They are separate bodies, separate entities, separate organization, and that is what is killing sport development in Nigeria. NOC is supposed to be self-funded. I must point out one fact. Every commander-in-chief of the country is usually the grand patron of NOC. That is one. And the current commander-in-chief of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GFR, if I'm correct, or GCFR.
Yeah.
You understand? Is the current grand patron and who is the patron before he became president. So I'm appealing on that ground to him to also look at what he can do for NOC. Also, I'm part of the NOC now because I belong to the technical committee of the NOC.
Mr. Damola, I wish we have more time.
To the president,
I wish we
can fund NOC to fund operation.
I wish we have more time. I mean, it would have been nice to really look at other areas, but I've just been informed that our time is up here, and I know that some other time we're going to look at that before the end of this month. I will still call you back, so we'll look at the preparation now for January. But I must appreciate you for being part of our show today, and for all the information that you have dished out. I'm sure that the viewers truly enjoy themselves getting to know about coiling, the prospect of coiling in Nigeria, and what your federation is doing in regards to the championship in Guangdong that is coming up soon. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Like we always say, still we rise, Nigeria, still we rise, coiling Nigeria. I will look forward to seeing you some other time. God bless you all.
God bless you. Thank you. Ekpo Temple is my name. I'll see you again next week Saturday for another beautiful and
Telling him not to counterpunch.